Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isubk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
Everyone west. Everyone west. Everyone west. Everyone.
Good night violence. So now what? Good night violence. This is why God. The Bible says that God is a just God.
Talk to me.
What led police to pull the man over? All of this unfolded.
Remember the days of old, we done lost tribes. They don't believe the Bible. They said white man wrote it, but still celebrate them holidays for white men, don't they? Like Christmas and Thanksgiving, appetites. I don't even celebrate family at the time. Going out in the outfit, I won't compromise. I got integrity and more heart than Valentine's. I read put in the book, they sell on Amazon. Owned by the same folks that told us to apologize. Remember slaves couldn't read, wasn't allowed. So it's meaning when I tell you I'm black and I'm proud. Murder is with the sword, that's how we learn religion. Unity standards violate my First Amendment. This is from my heritage under these bastards. Like a bitch, they make up lies and give you public lashes.
Come on, hey, say it again.
Say
it again. Say it again. Say it again.
So mad when I tell them this.
I'm fucking what?
My nigga skeleton. It's hectic out there. Hope you checking on your relatives. Brotherhood, that's what my weapon is. And I never let these crackers take it from you. Real talk. You probably never heard this all of your life. Be careful because I think you love is gonna cost you your life. Long as we got each other, my nigga.
You want to run your mouth?
No, because you was looking at my license plate for what?
Exactly.
For what?
You don't have the right to run this.
I got my right to do anything I want to do. I'm a police officer.
You can't run it.
God is against the white man. He had no choice to leave.
Family, I done lost friends. Day one, niggas thought was riding
All our
to the
lives, we
end.
were
Still
taught
showed
first that
up,
God loves
put in
everybody.
that work.
That
Hide
God
behind the smile while I'm walking with this hurt. Some nights I
all
felt alone, most nights I felt cold. Some nights I drove around, I ain't wanna go home, nigga. I ain't never been. I ain't never fold. Follow orders like a soldier doing what I'm told. Even when the council wasn't making any sense, I ain't never doubted. I just put it to the test. Days I was fucked up and down to my last cent. Reaching in my pockets, only coming up with less. I'm talking even on the days that I couldn't pay my rent. I put it down for my brothers. Ain't spared no space. If I ever got caused an offense, please forgive your brother, Lord. That ain't what I meant. See that brotherhood or weapon, fight against deception. When something taken from you, then it's just a blessing. Shorty really loved me, gave me everything she got, and I'm sorry, baby girl, if I ever broke your heart, man. Mistakes that I made, you don't know that they'll fade. Open with a heavy heart, lifting with the pain. Take away the shame, wash away the stain. Praying to the Lord for the days that I was in.
Israel. That's the same person. His name was changed to Israel. So the Bible
Long
says
as we got each other, my
love, the
nigga.
Bible says that God loves these people.
We build this shit on brotherhood.
Because that's who he made a covenant with. That's who he made a promise with. God
We
loves
got
them.
each other, my
Now
nigga.
let's keep reading. But
We
Esau.
build this shit on
You said you didn't
brotherhood.
read the Bible, so I won't even ask you. I'll tell you. Esau is the forefather of the so-called white race, okay? The nation of Edom. That's Esau. Every race of people on the face of the earth can trace their lineage back to a forefather. And the Bible has that history. It's saying right here that, but Esau, the forefather of white people, have I hated. Have I hated. H-A-T-E-D. That's the Bible says. Now we don't write this. I know, Eric, that sounds crazy. You said you was going to believe me.
Talk to me.
For the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, check out ISU.
Shalom Israel. We at the ISUBK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahana. We have been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people since 1969 that they are the real Jews of the Bible. Right? We are not affiliated with no other Israelite group, Christianity, Islam, whatever religion. All right. Also understand that this is Wednesday's law class. So let's clap it up. All right, so this is today's Wednesday law class. Today's topic we're going to go over is America hates Blacks and Hispanics but still want our love. Just recently, Trump done sent in soldiers into DC, right?
Right.
Understand that you gotta understand that he only targeting a certain group of people, right? But because crime is down, but he still wants to send them soldiers in because he gonna target Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Now the reason it is important for us to understand this is because the Most High gave us a history book, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, and that's this book. We done had this Bible all the time we have been living in our captivity, right? But our understanding of these scriptures has always been wrong.
Right.
Do anybody know why our understanding of this book has been wrong? It's because of Christianity, right? This book has become synonymous with Christianity here in this land of oppression and all through the world. Come on, sir. Right? And that is the problem. Christianity has nothing to do with the Bible. In fact, what Christianity is a tool used for propaganda of white supremacy. Right? But the difference is this book right here is a tool used for our Black history, right? This has nothing to do with the white propaganda. Shalom, all right. And I'm going to show you how it is an indirect contradiction of this book, of this Bible. And you're only going to learn that here in ISUPK. And I want to also let you know if you follow me online, or Twitter, YouTube, wherever you follow, and this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. So if you're following along, make sure you get your notes, right? To follow along, like and subscribe, right? So first I want to pull Hosea 4:6. And this is heavy, right? Because the Bible, understanding that it's a Black book, and we have synonymously, right, said it was, we have treated it as if it's a white man's book.
Right.
All right. And that goes through so many reasons because of Christianity. Christianity itself propagates and does propaganda for white people, right? Because it teaches us that Christ is white, right? It teaches us the stories we've been learned in the Christian church, right? Even when we was growing up in the Christian church, a lot of the time I would ask my parents in the past, like, "Yo, bro, why everybody in the Bible white?"
Right.
Right? And they'd be like, "Well, we the Gentiles. So, they are the chosen people." Right? And then that has a profound effect on people as a youth, right? Because you read about the history of what these people did to you and your family members growing up. And then when you realize that the God that you're supposed to be serving look like them, it lets you realize that, like, yo, bro, what are we? We really nothing, right? And Christianity is that engine that continues to put that onto our people.
Right.
So you gotta really understand that. But I'm here to tell you, right, that this book has nothing to do with none of that. This book right here is about empowering Black, Hispanics, and First Nation people, right? And we got to get back to our history, our culture. You got Hosea 4:6.
God. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people.
It says, my people, right? This is a very important part. A lot of people skip over this part when it comes into the scripture. All right, it says, my people, but that's who's his people? Who's his people? His people was blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people right here on this wall, right? The 12 tribes of Israel. That is his people. Also, the word my is possessive, right? It's a possessive word. It lets you know for a fact that God has a people. No matter what the Christianity tries to teach you when it comes to God having a people or God loves everybody, the Most High is letting you know that he is possessive, my, right? Understand that when you a child or when you see your kids playing around with stuff, right? One kid take the toy and the other kid don't want it, but he realized, you know what, you playing with my toy. I don't like that you playing with my toy. Well, technically it is his toy. All right. Understand that the Most High has a people. So no matter what the world trying to portray black, Hispanic, and First Nation people, you do belong to somebody. All right. Christianity gonna say they all belong to God, but this book will show you that you belong to the Most High. Right. And I'm gonna get a precept for that. Let me get Leviticus 20 and 26. All right. Understand that. Because I know the world, basically growing up in America, in this land of oppression, a lot of us, we don't know where we come from. We just feel like we just out here to survive. You ever seen the movie Tropical Thunder? Leviticus 20 and 26. Remember the movie Tropic Thunder? And there was a meme that came out of that movie where it's like survive, right? That's been the theory for like a lot of black people, right? Growing up in this land of captivity is straight up survive. Like we don't belong. We don't think we belong to anything, right? That's because the media continues to teach us that, yo, we ain't nothing but slaves, all right? We was nothing but slaves running around with loincloths, and without the so-called devils, right? We wouldn't even be able to have a society. That's what they teach us, right? That's why a lot of times in our history books, the first thing we learn is that we got off these ships in slavery, right? But we about to show you that this whole book right here, this Bible, right, is black supremacy. Well, can you read it?
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me.
All right, so it's saying you should be holy. The word holy, another word for holy is separate. Right? Moses is saying, and ye, which is another word for you, all right, you shall be holy unto me, separate unto me. Right? A lot of people like to say, well, God made everybody. Well, this scripture right here is letting you know that ye shall be holy unto me. Ye shall be separate unto me. You should be separate unto God. Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Continue reading.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
For I, the Lord, am separate. Right? Right? That's what the Most High is saying. Continue reading.
And have severed you from other people.
That's right here. This is why Christianity is so destructive to our people. It taught us that we should love everybody, be cool with everybody, right? And follow behind their ways of life. But the Most High is letting you know right here that, listen, I severed y'all from them people. I wanted y'all to be separate, right? You are mine. Y'all separate from them. You know what I'm saying? Continue reading.
That ye should be mine.
Mine, right? So when somebody try to tell blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people that you are not the people of God, right? This scripture right here lets you know God separated you, that you should specifically be his. It didn't say all other nations, right? Understand that. All right, so Salaya said, can you go back to Hosea 4:6? And this is a heavy point because a lot of us feel as though we don't belong to nothing. Right? I grew up that same way. Right? Growing up in a Christian church, realizing and thinking that everybody in this Bible didn't look like me, right? And realizing the stuff that my people went through here in America, right? It just didn't make sense. And then you realize, you know, Christianity teaches when we all die, we all gonna go to heaven. I'm like, yo, mom, we going to heaven, slave master? We going, like, how they get to live here on earth in heavenless conditions, right? And then all my people just got to suffer, and then at the end we all get the same prize. Like, yo, man, that ain't make sense. Right. You know what I'm saying? It just don't make sense. Right? And it puts you into a predicament in a mindset that, like, yo, we are nothing. Because that's what Christianity constantly teaches us, that we are nothing. Right? We're gonna continue reading.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
When it comes, the lack of knowledge is talking about is the cult is talking about in this book the culture of blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Listen, when you see us out there on the corners and the garments we got, the war scars, the bands, the chains, right? That's our culture, right? It's not why y'all a lot of our people like to go around and say they look like this, they look like that. Listen, you talking about your own culture. That's your culture. That's how we dress. That's how we carry ourselves, right? Understand that. You know what I'm saying? But you're not only place you're gonna find it is in the real history book of blacks, Hispanic, and First Nation people, right? Then it talks about the laws. The knowledge is talking about you missing is the laws, right? Is a way we conducted ourselves. No, we didn't go out here and unallow our brothers and sisters. That was not the way of our culture, the laws that were set before for us. And now people instead, that's what the oppressor. That's what America has taught us.
Right.
That's why they go out their way to pay our musicians to make these type of music. I was riding with my brother the other day, and he put on a song for me while we were driving for real. And when I learned about 30 different ways to unalive my brother in one song. He like, yo, you like it? I'm like, yo, bro, where's the content, bro? It's just I slid on him on this side of the street. Then I went back, circled back, went through the back door. It's like, yo, bro, that's all we learning. As a people, that is all we learn.
Right.
Right. To the point where they even coined a frame, YNs. Right. It's a frame where you're supposed to be cool if you go out here and dressed as if you're going to unalive your brother or sister. It's cool to put on this facade and this exterior to look like you're going to do some crime. Right. That's the knowledge that we shouldn't be learning, but that's the knowledge we pay attention to.
Right.
Right? The knowledge we're supposed to be paying attention to is the laws and statutes and the commandments of the Most High, how He set it for us. And you only going to learn it here in the ISUPK. Right? You only going to learn it is if you get into this Bible.
Right.
Right? You got to understand that this Bible has nothing to do with Christianity. Nothing to do with it. Right? It's not synonymous with it. It's synonymous with it only because the devil's tried to make it synonymous with it. But in fact, when you read this Bible, everything, 90% of the stories you was even taught when it comes to the Bible. Half of them, you be like, yo, where's that at in this book? Right? They make up stories for people to feel good. It has nothing to do with it. Right. All right. Continue reading.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
And that's the thing. Right? We as a people, we have rejected knowledge. When we hear our brothers and sisters out there on the corner saying, yo, you know what? Yo, we don't need to be selling drugs, right? Because the Lord said we ain't supposed to be doing that or celebrating holidays or eating pork or dressing our daughters a certain way or, right? Those type of things we rejected. Why? Because we love America. That's why. It's simple. Like we might try to put a spin on it and like really be like, nah, I just do this for myself. No, you do this because you was conditioned to love America.
Right. And
everything that they stand for. Right. That is the reason why. Right. And we rejected God's knowledge. When them brothers out there, when we go out to camp and we be out there teaching brothers and sisters, hey man, you should change your life, man. You should get to following the Most High, following your cultures, following the way that's going to save you, blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. When you get to that point and you reject that, this is why we are destroyed. Listen, you can go to school for all the degrees you want. All right, you can study the stars. That's what a lot of our people try to do: study the stars, study the markings on the walls. All right. Walk around the rock about 8, 4, 5 times, right? Do all these type of things to claim its knowledge. But we are destroyed because we do not have the knowledge of what the Most High wanted us to know. And that is the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. All right, continue reading.
I will also reject thee.
The Most High was going to reject us. Think about that, right? How heavy that is, right? Me and the officer, was just talking about school, when we was in school, right? You ever see how a teacher would treat a child who parents don't show up to the school? Like, no matter how many times you have all these PTA meetings and all that, and the parent never show up because they probably slave and they live in this land of oppression, and or they try to make a phone call to that student's parents, and they just never pick up for whatever reason, right? The way they treat that child, because they parents don't show up, is different from the way they treat a child who parents do be there.
Right.
Right? The other nations are treating us like we don't have a father.
Right.
Because we decided to reject his laws. So the Most High rejected us. And that is a heavy point. Think about it, when a lot of our brothers, when we used to deal with women out here in this world, the ones who used to really ain't care too much, the women we used to mess with didn't have a father in the house. Oh yeah, we used to try to sneak over there. We ain't really, if she was just with our mom, we ain't really care.
Right.
We ain't really care. You know what I'm saying? But I remember a situation, man. So he told me her father was upstairs, or I hauled tail. Boom. And I'm like, yo, so they ain't never coming to me. Like, yo, I'm good. You gotta meet me outside the crib. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a different way you treat a person when that father's in the house. That's why it was so diabolical and crafty culture that they did to get our black fathers, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian fathers out of the household.
Right.
Right. That's why, because it's easy to attack that person. And that is what's happening. Because we chose not to follow the laws and statutes and commandments of the Most High, right? The Most High has rejected us, and now we walking around as a group of people without no father.
Right.
All right. Understand how deep that is. Right? We see it all the time in the news. The statistics show us, and a parent, a child without a father, how the household goes. We all know that, all right? And look at how we became because we chose not to be our father. And the crazy thing about it is the Most High wants to be our father.
Right.
But we continuously decide not to follow his laws and statutes and commandments. And when you have a child, you understand. Listen, I tell my child, like, yo, bro, you got to take this out. You got to do this. You got to do that. And they continuously don't do it. Right? The only repercussion is, all right, you going to get disciplined. Well, guess what, Israel? Guess what, blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people? We becoming disciplined, right? This is punishment for us choosing not to follow his laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
We got to really understand that as a people, right? All right. And because we decided that the Most High rejected us, because the Most High rejected us because we decided we didn't want to follow his laws and statutes and commandments, we ended up being destroyed by these other nations, right? And there's a term about a person who ends up being destroyed by another person, but ends up loving them. Anybody online know what that term is? Because that is the mascot. That is who we are right now. Anybody know what that term is? If you online, you can type it in. You got it.
No, I know it.
I mean, rephrase it.
No, I know
right.
Something. I can't get the word. What they call it? Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome. That's it right there.
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome.
Right? Because we decided to put ourselves in the situation. All right, they say, play stupid game, get stupid. I forgot how it goes, but I mean, play games, you get prize, whatever it's called. Right. That's what happened. We decided not to follow his laws. Now we in this condition we in. All right. And because we in this condition we in, that's what we decided to do. Have Stockholm syndrome and fall in love with the people who did these things to us.
Right.
All right. The definition of Stockholm syndrome is a psychological phenomenon where hostages, right, or abused victims develop positive feelings towards their captors or abusers, often as a coping mechanism in traumatic situations. That's us blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people out here in America. Right? That's us. No matter what they've done to us, we still love America.
Right.
All right? You gotta understand that, and we're gonna break down. They got symptoms of Stockholm syndrome. We're gonna break some of them down. Right. One of them is a positive feeling towards your captor.
Right.
Right. And it's when victims may develop affection, loyalty, and sympathy. You know what that is? That's the proud voters with the button on their chest. Every time they vote walking around, I voted, did you?
Right.
Bro, what? Like, why do we need to know that? Right? You ain't supposed to be voting anyway. Right? That's the patriot, right? That can't wait to serve in the devil's military. Right? I'm fighting for the land of the free. Bro, you and your family, y'all not free. Right? Stockholm syndrome. You can't tell me America ain't the greatest nation in the world. Stockholm syndrome. Right? No matter how many times we turn on the news and the disparity of what they show about our people continuously, when we understand that, like, they quick to say that our Hispanic brothers and sisters are the ones foreign people or unaliving people when they come into this country.
Right.
All you gotta do is go into history and find out who came into this country and who did that. It's like, we know who did that.
Right.
Literally. Right? And now they call it the home of the free. You unalived everybody, but this so-called the home of the free. You put people in captivity, but the so-called home of the free. And a lot of our people have Stockholm syndrome and love to fight for it. Right? A lot of us voted for Trump to get in office. And now ask DC how they feel when he got them soldiers in their communities.
Right.
All right? Understand that no matter what they put in front of us, we still choose to love we choose to love America and those other nations. All right. Let me get Jeremiah 2:14. Salaki, sir. All right. And this is a heavy part. You ever talk to a person? So let me show you how, like, Stockholm syndrome is so vital in our community. You ever talk to another black person and be like, somehow, some way, hypothetically, the conversation pops up about black on black crime, which, any black person really know that really ain't a thing, right? But hypothetically, you talk about black on black crime. That black person you talking to, man, he quick to be like, yeah, yo, they just, the YNs, man, they don't got no respect for nobody. They just so disrespectful. They always get crazy out here. It's wild out here. And then you switch the subject and be like, yo, what about white on black crime? I mean, not all the white people bad, man. Right. They not all bad, yo. Black people do more worse than me than white people. All right. I had to do when I was working at this one job, right? I was telling him, like, yo, I'm an Israelite, man. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I don't really, partake in dealing with the other nations for real. I really deal with my people and shit. Like, my folks, like, deal with my people. And he like, when I mean the rage in his voice, like, to me, I'm just saying the regular, you know what I'm saying? The regular conversation, the rage in his voice.
Right.
What you mean? Like, yo, black people worse than all people. I ain't black. So I'm like, all right, that's cool, bro. That's how you feel. I know why you feel like that. You got that Stockholm syndrome and stuff like that. But when it got to the point where, like, he was enraged, willing to fight me. You feel me? And I'm just sitting there like, bro, you tripping, bro. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's crazy that you bring that up, right? Problem is because this is the reason why they contain us the way we do, right?
All right.
We only see us, unaliving or essaying our own people. Then that's the only scope that we see. And that's the only scope that and that's the scope. Right. So this is another reason why we fight so hard for our oppressor, because a lot of us don't recognize when our oppressor is doing the same thing. And a lot of these statistics show that our oppressor does that more than us.
Right.
But because we don't see that, and we only amongst our own people, just like Chinese people will probably say that about Chinese people. Chinese people do people worse. Do their own people worse, you understand? Because they're only around them. But we don't have a large scope of all these other nations that are about us. We only have that small scope. And that's another tactic that our oppressor uses against us, to help us to believe in our minds that we're worse than them when we're not.
Right. That's powerful. Cover for powerful what you said. I'm saying, understanding that these are tactics, crafty counsel that they use to destroy us as a people. All right. You guys is like Jeremiah 2:14, sir.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14.
All right, so tell us out. I want everybody listening online in the class, understand this. This is about to be a serious question that's about to be asked. It's like, so can you read it?
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14. Is Israel a servant?
Is blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people a servant? Why is the Bible asking this? Anybody online, y'all know why the Bible is asking this? What's this? You know, it's like any of y'all know. The reason it's asking us this, why we are, is because blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, we are acting like we are servants. That's a fact, right? Here in America, we are acting like this. Listen, this book right here is the freedom for Black, Hispanic, and First Nation people, right? The law, statutes, and commandments and following the Most High and Christ, that is the way to freedom, right? But the way to continue to be a slave and a servant to the other nations is not following that, right? Understand that. The Most High in this book, he is giving us rulership, and we are looking at that book like, nah, man, I don't want that. I'd rather stay under this oppressor.
Right.
Nah, man, I'd rather serve this oppressor. I don't want none of that, right? And the sad part about it is, we'd rather be a servant to the people that the Most High put beneath us. We'd rather serve the people who's supposed to serve us. I understand that. Continue reading.
Is he a homeborn slave?
There's another question to the chat. What is the difference between a homeborn slave and a regular slave? All right, because this is a homeborn slave. It could have just said slave. It's a difference, right? Right. Yeah. All right. So the difference between a homeborn slave and a regular slave, a homeborn slave is somebody who basically was been a slave their whole life, right? From birth. Listen, blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, we don't know what it's like to have a nation of our own, right? All we know is slavery. Like that movie, that famous meme, Survive. That's all we know here in America. It was a point in time where a lot of our people don't think we're gonna make it to 21. We used to think that's like a dream. Yo, you made it to 21, it's crazy. 18 was crazy. Right? Understand that. That's all we know. We are homeborn slaves. Look at it like this. When these devils go out here and capture grown lions and put it in the zoo, every day they try to feed that lion gonna fight them. Every single day. Why? Because that lion know, yo, you got me in the cage. Yeah, you giving me food. You don't bang with me though, because this ain't my home. All right? But that cub that lion has, oh, he gonna think the zookeeper loves him. And that is what we have become. We became like that cub. Oh, the devils must like us. Guess what? We can walk down the same street as them. We can go into the same stores. We can work with them on the job. Guess what? We can eat at their restaurants. We don't have to go to the back of the bus. All right? Because of those things, we've all decided that these devils must love us.
Right.
And that is a heavy point that we gotta really understand. All right, we are a homeborn slave. These are just tools and crafty counsel. All right? Understand that. Good.
When you, Salaki, the way you brought that out, it's heavy the way you brought that out. is we've been conditioned, from childhood,
Right.
to be in these conditions and to look at these conditions as normal conditions.
Right.
Just like when they first brought the first slaves over here, they understood that they were slaves. That's why they try to escape so much. You understand? And every generation that they had a child, those children begin to be conditioned to believe that this is the condition that they were supposed to be in. We homeborn slaves because we believe that America, we supposed to be in this condition that we in America. Our oppressors supposed to be over us. Our oppressors supposed to, police our neighborhoods.
Right.
Our oppressors supposed to be teaching us. You understand? We believe that that's the way it's supposed to be. That's a homeborn slave. When you're born into a condition so much so that you believe that this is the way life is supposed to be.
Right. And that's heavy what you brought out. And that's a fact. We've coined the term. I mean, it is what it is. That's life.
Right.
All right. No matter what happened to Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, the atrocities we see on TV, stuff that happened in unalivings, we always see. The devils getting off after the unalivings. We really shrug our shoulders and be like, that's life. It is what it is. All right. Because that has been our life here in America. We are a homeborn slave, whether you like it or not. You think just because we play in the NBA and play in the NFL and make millions in music concerts and stuff like that, please believe it, they are also slaves to those people who gives them their money, right? Why you think so many of our entertainers, actors, and they stuff start to come out about them behind the scenes that you don't know, or 90% of them ended up they seem senile or crazy.
Right.
All right. You're gonna have to pay for that, and that's what a lot of people don't really understand. And loving and becoming a big person in America comes with a price. All right. You should worry about becoming a big person in your nation. And Israel, all right? Continue reading.
Why is he spoiled?
Why is he spoiled? All right? Understand that this scripture right here is so heavy, man, because it really illustrates who we are as a people. And that's why this book that we like to equate to Christianity that has nothing about Christianity, because I know for a fact Christianity ain't teaching the scripture that we just pulled out. I know that for a fact. I was in church, going to revivals every Sunday. Staying twice every Sunday, all that. All right, Usher, all that. All right, bro, they teach you the same thing. Prosperity. Put your money right here, and we're gonna pray over it. All right, shut them doors. Let me get my 50 G's or whatever it was. Shut them doors. Make sure I get my money, and then we're gonna play some music for you. So you get the dance. It's the club. It's entertainment. It's like you play a performer to perform. So these pastors do get up there and perform and steal and rob our people. Right. And the sad part about it is you hop into them pews thinking you're getting closer to the Most High. And in fact, you're getting farther and farther away from the Most High. All right. That's why you need to come into this school. All right. And understand that. Let me get Isaiah 30:1 second. Listen, loving America, man, is going to be destruction. As long as we continuously love America, we are going to continue to get destroyed as a people. All right, the way they live their life, right, is not the way the Most High set it up for us to be. All right, you gotta look at it like this: the Most High created these laws and created us to live a certain way. So, hypothetically, I watch a lot of animal videos on YouTube. I guess it's like the nature and stuff. All right. The lion, all right, they always be like, the lion against the gorilla, who will win in the fight? For one, the lion would never go in the jungle. Why? Because that's not his crib, that's not his home. Why is he there? Right? When we choose to live like these other nations, we are like that lion going somewhere we ain't supposed to be at. And then we wonder why these things is happening to us, right? This is not how we're supposed to live. We're not supposed to be out here drug dealers, right? This is why no matter all these things that we do in this life, when it comes to like selling drugs or doing unaliving and all that, we always seem to get caught. We always, you know why? Because that's not us.
Right.
We doing something that we ain't even supposed to be a part of. We doing something that that's just not what we supposed to do. All right. Understand that. Good. You got it for me, sir.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children.
We are the rebellious children. The first thing in this scripture says woe. Woe is another word for destruction. Destruction to the rebellious people, right? This is talking about Black, Hispanics, and First Nation people. This is talking to everyone who chooses the ways of America over the God of the Bible. Boredom, unaliving your brother, participating in the alternate lifestyle, eating unclean foods, becoming drug addicts, loving everybody, interracial marriages,
right?
Falling behind every religion. These and really more is way more. Pledge allegiance to the flag of America, joining sororities, right? Understand that we have became a rebellious people, and destruction to the rebellious people, and that is what's happening to us today. No matter how many times we how many times we done set up leaders to try to lead us out of the conditions we are in America, we all fail. You know why? Because they not following the law, statutes, and commandments, and they not in the truth. And that has become a detriment to our people. Continue reading.
Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
Take counsel, right? A lot of us love to take counsel from these other nations, right? We take counsel from everything out here but the Lord, right? I remember there was a point in time when I was out in the world, man, I used to early morning get up, throwing my little motivational speakers. Yeah, today you gonna get up and you gonna do this. Whoop, whoop, whoop. A lot of our people do that. Like we take counsel on it. And I was like, yeah, yo, I'm gonna do it today. Right? We like to take counsel from the Christian pastors, right? And they don't know nothing about the Bible. 9 times out of 10, their counsel is you just want to read the book because they don't know nothing. They ain't got nothing to tell you, right? Right? They gonna ask for some money for that counsel though, or a plate, right? But they definitely that's the thing. We go to, which always baffled me. A lot of our people go to counsel to the walls of Egypt. Can't nobody decipher these walls. They don't know this bird mean he flew, he jumped. They don't know nothing about this bird. But for some reason, our people so intertwined and take counsel off this wall. Right. Bro, like what? Or the people who take counsel over the rock. You sit around a rock or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, understand that a lot of our people take counsel from everything, from everybody. The internet, right? Say it again, sir. Internet. Internet motivational speakers. Just the other day I was watching. They I don't know the name of the little There's a little place they do 25 verse 1. You ever seen them videos? It's like one person against 25 other people, and they'll be on 2 different stances.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Tell me why. There's one where this alternate lifestyle dude is teaching people that the scripture that say man cannot lie with another man is an abomination, right?
Right.
He out here teaching, nah, man, that's not what it really meant. What it really meant is they was having, the R. They was getting R. So if you can love, if it's love, it's okay.
Right.
And the sad part about it is, in that crowd, Black, Hispanic, and First Nation people clapping, saying that's right.
Right.
We take counsel from every single body, but we don't take counsel from the Lord. Think about that. Every single person out here, when we know for a fact, even in the false religions, you try to equate that God is almighty and God is everything. He tell you not to do this. Nah, that's, you know what? Pastor, what you say about eating that pork? If I clean it, I know in the Bible, God said we ain't supposed to eat it, but if I clean it right, I can eat it, right, Pastor? Yeah. Yeah. How many times those pastors you just show up to the cookouts can't wait to bust down that hand?
Right.
Right? Understand that. Or I remember our pastor used to cut service early so he can go to the cookout when there's a holiday, 4th of July. We'll get out of here so we can watch some ribs and cook up on this grill. He should be quick to get up out of there. We ain't supposed to be serving their holidays. I understand that Christianity has nothing to do with this Bible, and until you continuously follow behind Christianity, you won't be destroyed. Jeremiah said one day, which was like so perfect when it comes to this Bible. He was like, think about it. When it came, paraphrasing it, but he was saying something like, remember when it came to spinach, a lot of us didn't want to eat spinach, right? Because for whatever reason, we ain't want to eat spinach. He said the white man, what he does is he takes this book, it's like he taking the spinach and eating it and getting strong. But because we don't want, nah, man, that ain't for me. That's what white people eat. We don't want to touch this book, right? And that's what's really been going on to our people. Because we realize, yo, the Christian pastor, he lying. Nah, that book ain't for me. Well, yo, you know, white people created the printing press. So obviously they the ones who wrote the book. So I don't want to touch the Bible. Oh, yeah, white people, you know, they misinterpreted the Bible when it was during slavery to keep us in slavery. So I don't want to touch the book. We come up with so many reasons. Instead of realizing, bro, this is the way we get out of this. Ain't you tired? Black Hispanics and First Nation people, aren't you tired? I can only imagine one of the officers just earlier was talking to me about a man who was 102, right? 102. I know he was tired. 102 years living here on this land of captivity, man. I'm like 30 something. I'm tired. Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, we gotta get to the point where like this is the only way to get out of this condition. Right. We gotta get to that point, like yo, because we supposed to be ruling over these other nations. All right? Don't you want to wake up in the morning and have them do the work? You know how many times we roll over in the morning like, bro, again. You just went to sleep, and at a alarm clock waking you back up. Yep, you need to go to work. All right, that's. It's gonna be a point in time, and America won't get it. Believe that, and they gonna be the ones waking up to work. Right. And messing up with me, they might not even get no sleep. 24 hours, right? All day, every day they working. My plantation, I ain't playing. All right, continue reading.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Hey man, not many times we used to go to the family little holidays and the whole family get around. And your father or the prayer warrior of the family get around, they get the holding hands, everybody in a little circle. We're gonna put a covering over the family, or when you about to go travel, I'm gonna put a covering over you. And then they get the hooping and hollering and praying. And that ain't on the Most High. That ain't on the Most High. I don't care you speaking that gibberish. That ain't on the Most High. Right? And that's what our people have been doing. It says, can you read it again?
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
That ain't his spirit. You know what that is? That's a demonic spirit. That's the demon. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's like that. That's like that spirit of America.
Right.
You know, it's like you were talking about earlier. What is it? You said the home of the brave. The
home of the brave, the land of the free.
Land of the free, home of the brave. You understand? Remember that first dream team, right? Everybody had the spirit of America then.
Right.
Everybody was like, America's number one. We are number one. We
Right.
That's that spirit. That's like when you believe in a football team, you wear their jersey, you buy their tickets to their game, you go see them, you chant their name, you put their tattoo on your arm and everything. That's how we are with America. We have America written across our chest.
Right.
You understand? We believe America's number one. We are number one.
Right.
You understand? Covering with the covering. We believe we are the strongest nation. We cover it ourselves with America. We in that spirit of America.
That's right.
That's the spirit of America. Just like you have a spirit of a football team or a baseball team, it's the same thing.
Right. And that's heavy what he brought out, right? That's heavy, right? You know what I'm saying? We do have the spirit of America, man. And I'm gonna get to that point because I was gonna bring that out too. The spirit of America. I was gonna bring
My bad.
Nah, you got it. Hey, you on the same? That's what's up. You on the same tip. All right, who's that? Who's that? Covering, but it's not in my spirit, right? All right, continue reading.
That they may add sin to sin.
And that's what we do, right? We add sin to sin. We come up with any reason as to why, you know what I mean, sin is acceptable, right? First, it's, he know my heart, right? He knows me. That's what Christianity teaches you. Have your personal relationship with God, and he knows my heart, which is another. See, like Christianity is like a virus and it attacks everybody differently, but it has the same result, right? Because for real, if you think about it, that personal relationship, the saying only came from people who didn't go to church. And now in church, they say that now. Because every time I talk to a person who wasn't in church, they be like, yo, I don't go to church, but I got my own personal relationship with God.
Right.
But now the church is just saying, have your own personal relationship with God. Because, and the people who used to say it outside of the church, you can look at them and be like, yeah, I know why you ain't going to church. Right? So I know why you would say you got your own personal relationship. And now it's to the point where everybody just do what you want. Right? Just love everybody and you've got your personal relationship with God. We want, what we do is make an excuse and we put sin on top of sin. Right? That's what we do as a people. Right? We always try to find our way to weave through it. Right? And that's just who we are as a people. Right? And like when I was in school, it was when I was in college, the professor was like, yo, you got 3 days to miss in my class or you drop down the letter grade. And in my head, I took that. I got 3 free days, I ain't gotta come to class.
Right.
Us as a people, we always try to find
Find an easy way out.
Easy way out. Like it's a way around that law. It's a way around that rule. And that's who we are as a people. All right? Trying to be slick. All right? That's just who we are. Israel. That's why this book is written for Black, Hispanics, and First Nation people, because it knows us to a T. All right? You had something to say? Oh, all right. It knows us to the T. All right. Let me get slightly, sir. Let me get 2 Peter 2:10. And this is a heavy point. A heavy point. It's like a heavy point that we need to know, right? Choosing the spirit of America, man, it hasn't let Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people to really nothing. Right? What do we own? What is ours? Check this out. Before civil rights, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, we were living here, but we had our own little way of life. Had our own towns, had our own way we're going to do this thing. Right? Yeah, we in America, we were doing our own little thing. Then civil rights happened, and then our people decided we don't want to do our own. We want to do the American way of living. We want to go to Lauren's Bakery and get her apple pie.
Right.
And, bro, everybody know our sisters cook better than them. It makes no sense. Makes no sense, right? But for some reason, we was bamboozled and believed into following the American dream, the American way of life, when we had our own life in them times, right? You got it for me, sir?
Come. 2 Peter, chapter 2, verse 10. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness.
All right, so it says what? So what does it mean to walk in the flesh? I mean, a couple words later, it basically explains it to you. It's walking in your lust, right? It's following after your lust. Understand that we are following behind a nation of people with no spirit, carnal nation, right? The type of people that wake up and find ways to destroy other people just because the sun came up.
Right.
Right? That's the type of people we are following behind. Right? We walking after the flesh because we choose to lust after their lifestyles.
Right.
And on the outside, you might be like, oh, that's so, and we're gonna get to that, how we envy them. Thinking that way of life. It was this one dude I used to follow on TikTok. He was funny. He used to always talk about he was like super race something. Funny videos to talk about how those other heathens over there in India, how they used to eat. And then he started making posts like, that's the kind of white I want to be. Yeah. Yeah. And when he started making them posts, I was like, yo, I don't like, yo, you was mad funny and all that, but like that the post is this. I was like, yo, I'm good.
Right.
We want to be them so bad. And it plays a detriment to us as a people. We see more value in them than we see in ourselves. And think about it. There's certain places in Baltimore, I'm from there, but I don't even go. It's to the point, even when it comes over West Baltimore, like, yo, bro, you got some GPS. Because I don't go over there. I don't got no people over there. Ain't no point in me going over there. I'm from over east. That's where all my people's at, right? The irony of it, you got devils walking through these same hoods that a lot of our brothers do not go to. Because we like, yo, bro, I ain't like, but they running and jogging. It's a good old day for them. And the irony of it is, if I was to walk down there with yeah, if I was to walk down them same blocks, I would get, hey yo, you ain't from here, yo. What you doing? Like, you know what I mean? What you doing around here? I ain't from this neighborhood, yo. But if a devil jogging, I mean, I know a lot of us see it, how they just be jogging in the hoods. And when you be driving by, like, yo, bro, how yo just free, they just galloping, having a good time, because we see more in them than we see in ourselves.
Right.
President Lewis said, yo, it's easy for us as black people to kill each other because we don't see nothing in us. No value in us. Understand how deep that is. Why? It's when the other nations unallow our people, right? The gangs don't get up and be like, yo, we gonna do something to them. Nah. You know why? Because they feared them. A lot of us self-consciously, because of what happened to us as a people and been conditioned as a people, we end up fearing other nations and loving them. We are home-born slaves in America, and that is what has become. You got something?
It's amazing that you brought that up just now, because think about integration, right? Integration did just what you just said. it made us think less of ourselves and more of them.
Right.
To the point where we gave up everything that we had just to be with them. That's what integration does. That's why we destroyed as a people. That's why Martin Luther King was a horrible leader.
Horrible leader. Right, and that's happy. Right. It has turned us into a homeborn slave. Integration is probably the worst thing that has ever happened to Black people in America.
Not following the laws, statutes.
Oh no, Salaki, sir. Yes, not following the stars, statutes, and commandments is the worst thing that happened to us as a people. Right? But integration of sir. Wow. And not doing that, those laws, statutes, and commandments, we ended up following into integration. And then in integration, like the officer said before, it basically made everything that we were great at doing, we have to get permission from them to be able to do it.
Right.
One of our brothers just made, some type of fuel from bottles, and he had to go from plastic bottles. And because, the devils, they gonna hunt you down. They don't like that. He went into high, I don't know whatever happened to him. He good. Come. What? So you know what I mean? But that's just what it was. Right? Integration, even our sisters who do it, you gonna have to get your certification from these devils.
Right.
You a barber? Julian Bryan. Brother Julian Bryan made oil from bottles. Right? Invented that. He had to go in the eye because he understood that like these devils gonna come get you for that. You can't even invent nothing without the devil trying to put his hand in.
Won't take it from
you. Right? Understand that Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Continue.
And despise government.
Listen, we so patriotic and so Democrat, Republican, stubborn thing they call right, left, liberal, right wing. I don't be knowing all the political terms. I just be hearing them. Yeah. We so much that for the forefront of it. Listen, we follow behind a group of people who despise government itself.
Right.
You want proof? January 6th. That day they said, man, I don't care about government. Right? Understand this, right? Everything our oppressor do is lawless. Right? They say we are criminals and thugs when they have created the environment for us to be criminals and thugs in America. They brought drugs to America and flooded out. Like, all you gotta do is just read history. That's how they fund their wars,
right?
Is by drugs. The CIA and all these they are drug dealers, drug traffickers. All they do is pat in a Black, Hispanic, First Nation person face on the front of it and allow them to sell drugs and give them money and then come get them when they find a new person. And recycling, just keep recycling how people in and out. And meanwhile, their machine of drugs in our community is destroying generation and generation and generation and generation. And the sad part about it, Blacks, Hispanics, First Nation people, we have gotten to the point where the only way for us to try to believe that we can make anything or be successful in anything is either you can play basketball, you could rap, or sell drugs. Growing up, that was literally it. I played football after I got done playing football. I'm like, what else is there to do? Good.
Well, Biggie said you were sold out of rock where you had a wicked jump shot.
And that's facts.
See?
That's facts. All right? A lot of us stood behind that and really believed that. And the sad part about it is I don't even think people told that to us. Like they went out their way and was like, yo, listen, if you can only run a football or rap So jokes, you gonna be, that's the only way you can make it. Because I do remember in school them telling us you can be all you want to be. But the crazy part about it, self-consciously, through what you see in this world, you realize, yo, bro, I only got 3 choices. And that's how deep it is in this land of oppression. Go ahead.
I mean, no,
you got it.
That's heavy that you brought that up because as a kid, as a child, I wanted to be white. Why did I want to be white? Because everybody that I saw on TV was white.
Right.
Time when I was coming up, especially in the early 70s, it was rare to see black people on TV.
Right.
So I figured the only way you could be on TV is if you was white.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the images that they put in our mind. This is just like everything that they show you. If they put white on everything, eventually children coming up see that or want to be that.
Right.
You understand? Just like you got the doll
experiment.
You understand? You get the doll experiment, then when you see how white people got it good, how we got it bad, eventually you're gonna believe that this is the good doll, that's the bad doll.
Right.
You know, by reasonable deduction. You understand? So that's the way things go.
And
that's the reason why it's important for us to teach our own children.
Right.
And again, policing our own people, teaching our own people, all goes hand in hand. Gathering yourself together. They gather together on this not desire.
And that's heavy what you're bringing out.
So that's a bedrock scripture right there.
That's heavy what you're bringing out. Because a lot of us, I was the same. I grew up watching nothing but Disney and seeing them on TV. Yeah. First Crush and going Devil. I'm standing at the screen like, yo, bro. Thinking that's my whole way of life until I get up out of it. I mean, until you just grow older or whatever. But that's that's the reality for a lot of our people. So, right. And that's heavy when you brought out. Because that's definitely the reality for a lot of our people. All right. So it says in despised government, right? Listen, the nation of people who we follow behind them, they hate the laws that they make. Why you see Trump over here evading tax laws? You ever made a law that you hate? Like in my house, no dishes in the sink at night.
Right.
You know, me up late. You got some dishes. You go in the kitchen. It's a law you hate. The devil that made laws, they don't even like the fact that this government system apply. They don't like this. Right? They done made laws where as though you can't outright just unalive someone. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put on the badge. Then I can go do that. Right? Understand that we are following behind the people who don't even like law. Think about this. If I come out and I be like, yo, when we got a deal, right? I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. You gonna do what you're supposed to do. Everything gonna be cordial. Boom. And then the other Nate, like this is the way of the oppressor, the people we follow behind. Yo, that whole time y'all talking, in his head, he's sitting there like, yo, I just can't wait for you to go to sleep so I can alive you, bro.
Right.
That's the whole time. The laws say, yo, don't come. I mean, they make laws like, yo, y'all ain't supposed to, don't cross this line for real, because that's our stuff. Oh, okay. Oh, sure. Sure. Cross. Ask our Hispanic brothers about the island, around that time of the Alamos. All right. Understand that. All right. We follow behind the people who don't even follow the laws that they create. So how could we expect them to feel some type of way for us? I understand that. Let me get Proverbs 3:31, sir. You got it.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
Envy thou not the oppressor. Do not become jealous or want to have what they have and look up to them. right? In America, we look up to the devils when it comes to how we want to live our life, and that is Stockholm syndrome from a homeborn slave at its finest. How could you look up to somebody who unalived and did so many atrocities to your people? Right? Only a fool would want to, follow behind that, or a homeborn slave, a servant, which the scriptures illustrated earlier. Right? That's why this book is heavy. This Stockholm syndrome. So check this out. Right? I remember Christians would say, if it wasn't for the devils, the white man, we would not be able to get close to God, because we was running around in loincloths, and they brought us to America and gave us Christianity. That's Stockholm syndrome. And I remember asking people like, yo, so you mean to tell me we had to go through all that to find God? And then they say, well, my mother said basically it is, that's the way God wanted it to be. Right? Understand it. All right, let me get continue reading.
And choose none of his ways.
Choose none of his ways. The key word in that is choose. It's a choice. It's a choice, Black, Hispanic, and First Nation people. So the scriptures say choose none of his ways. What's your other option? All right, what's the options you got?
Follow the Most High.
You follow the Most High, right? It's a choice, Black, Hispanic, and First Nation people. I know it's hard to fight against that choice. That's why you gotta get into school and be around brothers, right? Who also fight that choice, right? Because that's the only way you're gonna get it done. Especially I used to think like, yo, I could be home being an Israelite watching videos. Nah. In order to get and choose none of his ways, you're gonna have to use your brothers. You know why? Because they done went through it too, so they know what you're going through. Right? You need to. Right? Choose none of his ways is a choice, Black, Hispanic, and First Nation people. Right? Let me get Exodus 20:5. And this is a heavy part. This is what I'm about to bring out, something heavy to Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. We need to understand that we shouldn't be doing this. Right? And this all ties into, right, we love America, and as long as we continue to love America, we are going to become home. We will continue to be a servant, and we will continue to be a homeborn slave. You got it from Exodus 20:5?
God.
All right.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
All right, so this is talking about God. This is talking about gods, right? Verse 4 was really talking about, idols and gods, right, that we are serving, right? And you know what is an idol that we seem to gloss over? The American flag, right? What's on the flag? They got the 50 stars. Before that, it was the 13 stars. Right? The flag ain't nothing without them stars. And then this how you know it became an idol for a lot of our people. When they pull it out, when the color guard marching with the flag, and then they start playing this music. What you supposed to do if you are American? Better take the hat off and stand tall. Place your hand on your right heart.
Right heart.
My bad. It's like here on your heart. Place it right there on your heart. Right? And then, better not talk. Don't you say nothing. Let this play out. Even to the point where I've seen a lot of people cry. Oh yeah. When this flag come up, it's so sacred, you better not drop it. Don't you drop it. Right? Understand that we've made this American flag, the American way of life, our idol. We're not supposed to serve them. Right? Understand that so even to this day, every day in school, they make sure the students know that flag, the song. Listen, Black, Hispanic, and First Nation people, you ain't supposed to be pledging allegiance to nothing. Right? You are not supposed to be pledging allegiance to this nation, to this people, right? Understand that. Every time you pledge your allegiance, hum that song, right? Stand tall, take your hat off. You will sin against God. You will serve another God. All right. All right. Finish out with. Let me get. Let me Isaiah 2. You got it.
Isaiah chapter 2, verse 8. Their land also is full of idols.
Their land is also full of idols. This land of America is full of idols. Honestly, like in 2025, if you want to come up with your own religion, you can do it in America. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to find, if you have itchy ears, America has something where you can find it. This land is full of idols. Blacks, Hispanic, and First Nation people, no matter if this land is full of idols, you shouldn't follow them. You should follow the law, statutes, and commandments of your God. All right? Continue reading.
They worship the work of their own hands.
That's always been baffling to me. Like, yo, you done carved up this stone, and now you serving the stone and praying the stone to the stone is just wild. Like, bro, you made that. All right? That's what a lot of our people have been a part of. All right? We serve the creation and not the creator. All right? Continue reading. Oh, you finished it?
That which their own fingers have made.
Basically, you follow the creation instead of the creator. Understand this, Blacks, Hispanic, and First Nation people, the only way we're going to end up stop being a homeborn slave, all right, and get rid of this Stockholm syndrome is if we follow these laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High and do away with the customs and the traditions of America. All right. And with that, we're the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We've been teaching Blacks, Hispanic, and First Nation people that we are the real Jews of the Bible. We've been teaching, and we are not affiliated with no other Israelite group. I'm about to be passing the class off to Officer McDonough for security announcements. Shalom.
Right, all right. Excellent class, excellent class. Understand, just like the brother said, we gotta stop following America, and we gotta start following these laws, statutes, and commandments. That security announcements. We're the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into your school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves to the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must give permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Time, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in the Hebrew, and it's pronounced ma'aitra. A tenth of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, a free will offering to the priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. up and coming Holy Convocation. We have the memorial blowing of the trumpets, which is September the 21st. That's a Sunday, right? September 21st, which is Sunday. My acronym and to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, so on for YouTube for ISUPK events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he has to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. With that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Rakatah. Yagi Matah. Flex this message.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're